Hello, everybody. I'm here today with Julian, and we are here to tell something about the event we decided to organize on the 3rd of March, Friday. It's a beautiful event, afternoon and evening together to grow in love together. And so I would like to ask Julian a bit about what is this event.
Thank you.
So first of all, welcome.
Thank you, Marta.
And the first question is, what is the purpose of this In Love event?
Yeah, so the purpose of the event is to help people to connect authentically to their wants and their desires, and in a community way to arrive in the naturalness that it is to be a human being and the wider aspects of love for living a more loving life. So the events are designed to support us to develop tools in community, in a group, that we can use in our life to experience more love, basically. More love for ourselves, more tools to arrive at loving interactions with others, and to soften and surrender into the mystery of life itself with some tools that anchor us to our body's wisdom to choose. So it's a lot about choosing and noticing what we want and what will nourish us, and arriving in more loving incidences in our life. Yeah.
Okay, so what happens usually at the event?
Yeah, so we tend to begin about 5 o'clock with people arriving. We have some music, and we have an opening circle at 5:30, and we close the doors so that we keep the intimacy of the group container is not disturbed. And the evening has three parts. So, as I said before in the previous question, the first and most important thing in these events is for us to arrive really in our body. And what we find is this is beyond the stories of our default mode as we go about our life. So we arrive really with our breath and with our physical sensation, like we're dialing up the sensitivity on our inner world, first of all. So the first part of the evening is learning to really give priority to that, rather than the stories of how we got there, what our names are, what our jobs are, and what we do on a day-to-day basis, but coming into a kind of stillness in ourselves, and then getting familiar with sharing that centeredness with others in the group so that we all get to meet. And this creates like one body of all the bodies that are there. So it's quite somatic, body-based work. And this is the first part of the evening, an opportunity to also get playful and to experiment with what we might want to interact with others, be that talking or exchanging any simple touch. It's not like a love temple or a sexuality event. It's more about noticing the qualities of love, of serving, of receiving that care, attunement, and attention, care from others. So that first part is connecting with self and starting to connect with others without losing connection to ourselves, not getting lost in the games, but staying with ourselves through those connection with others. And then we break for food. And I know Mariposa has really good food. I was there in the summer with some of your lovely there was some Italian chefs cooking some amazing food for us in the summer. So we'll stop for dinner. This is more informal. People can meet and chat and sit where they like. And then after dinner, we have some choices of some connection games and structure, other practices to support people to settle into more connection. Or there's also a space for people to dance, chill, listen to music, or hang out. Especially at Mariposa, your beautiful retreat center, there's even more space than these. Started in Lisbon, and the venues are smaller. Lisbon in Love was the first one that I've been running since about 2017-18. But yeah, it's a joy to be invited to come down to Mariposa to do this with you, Marta. Thank you.
Great, I'm very happy. We need more love everywhere. So I also would like to maybe clarify if some people already asked me who is this event for. And I would say for everybody, but I would like to to get your answer.
Thank you for that question. Yeah. So what's happened in Lisbon is that it tends to be like a heteronormative demographic that's coming, and the women tend to book first. I designed the event for everyone, like you said, because to me, these events are more about getting in tune with noticing, trusting, valuing, and communicating what really matters to us, and having that met in a mutual, respectful environment that we get to explore together. So to me, then the gender is not important. The expression, the sexual preference of the participants are all welcome. So yes, the event is for everyone, and it's for conscious connecting, friend making, and I say slow dating. So beautiful connections happen that people might want to explore on the night and keep people's contacts and explore outside of the event. But it's not a specifically dating specific event. And that's why, to me, it's open to everyone. And people are making beautiful friendships at these events. And there's different types of connections made. And the main one is giving myself full permission, fully accepting what I want, what's important to me, and trusting that, and not losing connection with that inner wisdom when we meet and connect with others. So the quality of the event is focused around that. So everyone's welcome. And what tends to happen in the Lisbon ones that I've run is it's a lot of binary hetero connections are happening. You know, that's just what shows up. We usually get about 10 women book really fast, and then the men are booking. This is just the dynamic that I watch happening. So to answer people's specific factual question of what type of people are showing up to these events, that's in Lisbon. So if you're thinking about coming to this one in the Algarve, you are very welcome, whoever you are, feeling to be in relationship with. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So you said that you're running these events already for some time in Lisbon, especially. Can you say what is that people saying that they get from these moments together? What is the feedback you receive?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I ran them before these lockdowns, and the feedback was good. And I changed the format a bit, and had to stop running them through these few years that we've all experienced. And I feel it's more important than ever now for people. So because of this time apart and the fear that we've had as a collective, as humans, these events seem more and more needed and wanted and welcomed, and have been very popular. They've been booking out with a waiting list, and people have given such good feedback. Even ones who've not attended, who've maybe met me or know some of the work that I do, have said, Julian, you need to keep doing these. This is so needed. Some people feel they don't need it. They might be married or whatever, but they've thought to come in a couple. So to your last question, couples can come to this to deepen their connection. And I'm even thinking to do Lisbon in Love and In Love date nights for couples, because it's more this supporting each other to really nourish and make life more wonderful. But some of the feedback people have got, we had a feminist came to the last one and said, wow, in all her years in activism, she had never seen the supported facilitation into the empowered, embodied no, and where the no came from in her body. And she found that the event really supported her with her no. Other people say in that it's a 5-hour event, but in this 5 hours, they are surprised the amount of intimacy that's possible with seeming strangers that they've never met. And I would put this down to the collective group container that we create together, so that we're weaving together what matters, and we're stepping into a space, checking out in our body first. What do I need to feel fully comfortable here? So yeah, a lot of connection and gratitude and beauty of themselves, and appreciations for themselves, and the beauty of others that are called to connect with this theme of authentic love and living a more loving life. Like Bob Marley said, love the life you live and live the life you love. So That's some of the feedback from the recent ones. Yeah, and another one is that people have really appreciated the spaces that I'm holding these, which is why it was important for me to find. Well, we kind of decided together to do this, didn't we, Marta? But beautiful spaces and working in beauty really supports the group. So I use really beautiful venues for these in Lisbon, and now Mariposa. I really like that you're up on that ridge, and then there's the valley behind, and the nature. So your spot is supportive to that feeling of appreciation with our inner nature and outer nature, and so that's some of the feedback, and I'm glad we've got the opportunity to do it in a beautiful place in the Algarve as well.
Nice. Yeah, so is there I was wondering if also there is somehow like after care after this event, do you have some guideline after that, how it works?
Yeah, thank you. So we have a Telegram group for people who've been to these events, and only people who've been to the events are put in, so that it's easy to connect with others or to share your experience. So part of the container agreement is that we agree not to discuss other people's words or experience that were there, only to speak of our own experience. So from the beginning, there's this care that the group co-create and we all agree to. And afterwards, people can connect from their event or others that have agreed to these containment, respectful rules. So this is going well. And people can reach out to me, they can share experiences. I also have a feedback form, which I take care to read everyone's responses. So that's shared for people to share. And the invitation is to come back and to deepen and to grow these communities. So I was invited to Porto at the end of this month, and your one in Tavira in Love, and the main hub being Lisbon. So these communities are also able to reach out to each other. So there's a nice co-caring happening in Telegram after the event. To answer your question, and people will be given my contact if any themes come up for them. I'm a bodywork practitioner and somatic sex educator and coach. So some of these themes, as they live in the body, if people want further support after the event, they can do that with me or my colleagues. Yeah.
Maybe just 2 words about your background as a...
Yeah, sure. Yeah, briefly, I've been a body worker and teaching therapeutic body work and other modalities around touch, therapeutic touch, for about 20 years. And I'm just launching a teaching clinic in Lisbon at the moment with some fellow practitioners. So we're supporting people between, people might know about going for a treatment like an osteopath, and most of us have heard of coaching. But we work in the space between treatment and coaching, and talking and touching. So these events are born out of the trainings that I've done, like the Wheel of Consent, nonviolent communication, somatic sexology work that I mentioned, and some other ingredients. And it's basically really focusing in on the spaces and the transitions, like the equinox of on day and night transitioning. We have techniques and practices like yoga or breath work, and we have meditative, contemplative practices within some of those modalities, which support us in our being. So the event and my background is an expression of that background of moving between being and doing, and talking and touching. And this has a lot of the magic of intimacy and personal, loving relationships. Touch is so important. You know, during some of the world's most challenging periods, babies have chosen touch over food many times. So this just shows us how important touch is, and we've all been quite touch starved for these years that I mentioned, these pandemic years. So getting really important with the kind of touch, and knowing that we get to choose, and knowing that if I get to choose, that this touch is really for me, and feeling that in the body. This is the work of the Wheel of Consent by Dr. Betty Martin. This is really profound and can really touch people on a heart level and an emotional level. It's very life affirming. So I'd say my background's brought me to the spaces between these polarities, and this is the space within which we play in Lisbon in Love and Tavira in Love to come.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Julian. I think this already gives a good view over what people can expect from this event.
Thank you, Marta.
So,
Look forward to seeing you soon there in Mariposa again.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So for registration, there is a link that you are posting, right?
Yeah, I'll post the link. It's a meetup link. If you don't want to pay through PayPal and Meetup, please message me individually if you want to do MBWay or yeah, we ask for pre-registration because it gives us all the information we need for the chefs and people to prepare the food some days before. So yeah, thank you. Please follow the registration link, which we'll share close to this video. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you there. Please join us if you're in or around the Algarve, Alentejo, and you feel called to this event. We'd love to see you there.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marta.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao, ciao. So we're going to do a shorter one now. Cool. Over to you.